When you were on your journey, when did you start to see or feel or both like, holy shit, like this is moving something inside me?
Pretty much right away. Once I started to forgive a few, my self-talk was very negative, and the world seemed brighter. Food seemed to taste better. And I noticed those were the little things that I noticed. And then I noticed that my company sales started to creep back. And I thought, okay, I'm a college educated girl, and doing something in my personal life should not forgive my professional life, but it did.
Right.
And I noticed the correlation. And I was pretty stunned by that. So I kept going. And then I thought, well, if I could forgive people, what about the places like my childhood home where all that stuff, a lot of it happened? What about my grammar school, the actual building where I got bullied and almost stuffed into a locker? And then I thought, well, how about I'll just forgive 1974? So I forgave 1974. Why, you ask?
God.
Well, because it was, excuse my language to all the listeners, but it was a shit year.
Yeah.
My parents, I was in the 8th grade. My parents were getting an ugly divorce, and I was getting bullied, and I almost committed suicide. So I thought I did forgive all the players in that year. But then I thought, I'm just going to forgive the whole year and the energy around it. And I can't tell you what that did for me. And what it does for you to begin with is it takes the people out of your head. You want to stop thinking about these people. Yes. So you could look at their name on a piece of paper or Facebook or social media, and it doesn't zing your brain anymore. It's neutral.
Right.
Okay, well, Katharine, I don't have any bad memories about this person. Do I have to forgive them anyways? If that person or place or thing is making it onto the paper that you're in the book, I'm going to tell you to write a list of the people, places, and things that just come to your mind you think you need to forgive. But if it's on the paper, something happened. A friend of mine who also edited the book, she wrote down a little red wagon. She had no memory of a little red wagon, but on some level, she knew she was mad at the thing because the thing must have done something to her in her childhood. So she forgave.
She watched Citizen Kane when she was a kid.
Maybe. And maybe it irritated her, but she forgave a little red wagon, just like I forgave 1974. You know, it's stuff like that, and it's going to lighten your load. I have 2 studies in the book. There is a science chapter in there to prove what I'm saying. But there was a study done by a Japanese researcher on water. And there was a similar study done on plants. But what he did was he got 2 things of water, and he talked really nasty to one container of water. And I mean really nasty.
Right.
And then he talked really nice and did lovely things for the other water. The water that was positive, for under a microscope, you could see. You can go online and see the pictures. They're really fun. You'll see they look like these beautiful, crystalline, lovely kind of snow-looking formations, gorgeous. And the other container where he said nasty things to formed black and dark formations.
It's
so
just
since
water?
Our bodies are 98% water, what do you think forgiveness is going to do for us? I'm just saying.
We're only 20 minutes in, and you're crushing it right now, Katharine. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, and you know what? Even when you were talking about 1974, which is hilarious and profound, I was going to joke and say like, yeah, fuck you, 1974. But then exactly. I was thinking like, oh no, that's more anger. That's not forgiveness. So we're like, how do you forgive a year? Like, how do you think about it?
It just came into my head that I needed to forgive 1974 because I was tired of thinking about the bullies, and I was tired of thinking about my crazy childhood because I had love back there. My parents did the best that they could. Here's how I forgave my parents, which were I had a few number 10s, but there were a couple of them. Right. I am not a particularly religious person because I'm not. But there is one sentence in the Bible that gets me to, that's how I forgave my parents. And it's Jesus is strung up the cross. He's bleeding. He's probably in a lot of pain. And he looks up at the heavens and he says, "Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing." I paraphrased.
A classic line. Yeah.
Yes. And if you think about what he means by that, it's I can't get angry at somebody who's in the 2nd grade because they haven't learned calculus yet. I can't get mad at them because they haven't learned it yet. They're doing the best they can with the tools they had. Bing.
Right.
My parents did the best they could with the tools they had at the time. Was it good enough? Of course not. But I can forgive that because they did their best. Even if their best was bad, they still did the best that they could. And that's how I finally forgave my parents.